Right, well, g'day and welcome back. We are now back from our big journey up north and we've cleaned everything out in terms of the backpack. Now, just a few things I want to focus on before we check in with the builders and deal with the masonry tools and the smithing tools. We did get a lot of weapons while we were up there, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about. While we did get a great mace at level 18, and it's, to be honest, probably one of the best two-handed weapons in the game, this one that we've only got only has 55 damage. And we've got a level 22 guillotine that we actually got, and we also got an ignited hammer, both at level 22. So while the Great Mace is brilliant at a higher level and also a higher rarity, it's not going to be for us. And if you look at it in comparison with the flail that we were using, it doesn't have as much durability even though it's the same level. Now, if we then compare, let's say, the house scourge that we had previously, that's a one-handed weapon, so that's still a great weapon, but I prefer the two-handed ones. So what we're going to do now is upgrade, and we're going to go with one of these two here. So while the ignited hammer does have 330 max durability, and I mentioned in the last video in our walkthrough that I love this thing, but the reason I love it, to be honest, is with regards to the hollow hauls. It's the perfect weapon for the hollow hauls because it has nothing but blunt damage, which means when you're dealing with the skeletons in there, it's brilliant. But if you look at the guillotine, it has cutting, piercing, and blunt. So that is now going into the primary slot for us. That's one of the things I wanted to touch base with regards to there. We're going to salvage that, and we're now going to salvage that. Now, with regards to the longbow, we don't have a replacement longbow as yet, so I'm still going to keep the current longbow that we have in place. Now, we did have a wildwood shortbow, level 20, which was a legendary, and I mentioned during our last mission that we got another wildwood shortbow, level 20, but it's only an epic. So you'll see there, the only difference really between the two is that you've got the mana leech on the legendary one. But if we also then compare really quickly with, and by the way, I've upgraded every single one of these just to better compare. So if we compare, let's say for example, the pine shortbow, this is where things are going to get a little bit confusing. So it does have better power, but the difference between the two is max durability and also the other stats that you get in conjunction with it. So we've only got draw speed, durability, arrow speed, piercing damage, and shroud magic. But with these here, especially the legendary one, you get 8 different attachments onto it. So it is still going to remain where it was at the absolute top of our ladder, and it's going to stay in the rotation. This one, however, while it is a good weapon, it's going. Now also we picked up the Shepherd's Lightning, level 22. That is the best magic weapon in the game. In terms of staffs, absolutely, by far and away. But as I also mentioned, I don't have my character set up in the skill tree for that particular, for that particular sort of build to actually matter to me. So in terms of a wizard sort of build, I don't have, really any points invested in that at all. So it's not really going to matter to us, but what I will do is keep it. So just wanted to let you know about that. The other things as well that I'll really quickly comment on and go through, we also picked up this shield here. So currently we were running with the ghostly shield, and that gave us 39 parry power, 110 durability, 10% fire resistance. And we noted that we had more parry power with the ghostly shield, as compared with the Pikemead's Bulwark, and also that the Ghostly Shield was a higher level, even though it gave us less block. At the time, that did suit us, but if we also take a quick look at what we actually picked up in this last run as well, we got a shield level 18. That also has 7 block, but if you compare again, you've only got 51, well, you've got 51 parry power and 60 max durability. But if we look at the Pikemead's Bulwark, for example, you've got the 110 max durability, and similar to the Ghostly Shield, both have 110 max durability. So while that shield that we picked up is pretty good, level 18 compared to the level 8 Pikemead's Bulwark, it's not going to do the job. Now, that brings us to another thing as well. I mentioned at the time that what we had in place was fine for the missions that we were currently doing. We're going to be doing, over the next little while, more missions that are in the Shroud. So that was one of the prerequisites that I mentioned for why we had equipped what we had equipped. So at the time, what we had did suit us, but now we need to sort of change things up. And with that I mean, one of the things we're going to change is what we actually have equipped in terms of our outfits. So what we're going to do here, very quickly, is slip over to character here. Now, a couple of the things we did pick up, one of which is a Fowler chest. Now you'll see physical resistance is now 59 compared to 44 that we had previously. And we've also now got 59 magical resistance, which looks outwardly to be fantastic. And we also mentioned that what we have with the Guard of the North chest plate is that it's decreasing our time in the Shroud, which is a bit of a problem, but its big upside was that extra boost to the health that we got. So even though we still would probably, to be honest, favour the Guard of the North chest plate, what we're going to do is switch over to this one, because we're going to be doing a little bit more journeying into the Shroud over the next little while. The other thing that we looked at as well was the boots, and if we look here at the Guard of the North boots, they also give us 30 seconds maximum time in the Shroud reduction, while giving us a pretty high physical resistance and also magical resistance. The boots that we picked up very recently are a higher level, and they also give us a little bit more magical resistance, which, as we discussed, doesn't really matter, but the advantage that they have is that time in the Shroud while only losing a little bit of physical. So at this stage, for what we're going to be doing over the next little while, they'll suit us at this stage. And this is where things can get a little bit confusing with the game, I guess. But also it's kind of beneficial, to be honest, because there's a lot of different things you can sort of equip for different missions and different things that you're actually going to be up to at different stages. Now, what you would have noticed as well, since our last check-in, I mentioned I was going to be building out this end and getting some chests in place. We've finally done it. So what we've also done as well, what I mentioned was going to have a set of stairs downstairs here, and we finally got around to doing that. I haven't really sort of fixed it up correctly or properly as yet. It took me a long enough time to sort of go through and get all this organized. What I did was I built a few more magic chests. You would have heard me mention in the past as well that the medium magic chests that we have here are actually going to become outdated pretty soon in the game, probably about 5 to 10 hours away. But to be honest, I've got enough resources that I don't really care. I guess for yourself, I would try to temper the want to build medium magic chests as much as you possibly can, try to avoid them if you can. Just save the resources and save them for the large magic chests when you get to them. So, checking in now with our builders.
Got my hands full, but
So now Cade Hawthorne the Carpenter. He said, hooray, you've given us our tools finally. So if we check in with him now, you'll see there are a few things that he actually required specifically the masonry tools for. That was a lot of your beds here, for example the stone bed, the stone banquet table. So basically all of the stone decorative elements that are in the game, window frames, etc. They all required that. And now that we've got masonry tools, what we can do is pop them in place. And if we also head over and have a chat to the whinging blacksmith. So if we look now, we can also craft smithing tools with him. And in terms of anything else that was locked off and requiring the smithing tools, he does have mercenary helmets, a mercenary set, the guardian set and whatnot that we mentioned previously, which we weren't going to build because we don't really require them, because as we said, we've picked up enough stuff in the meantime, in the interim, so that's fine. We're not concerned with that. So what we'll do is place the smithing tools there and tools there. And if we now check in with Athlon Scree the Hunter,
What's your wish?
we now have a new mission for her, and she wants a tanning station. So she can preserve fur. Maybe hunters from the area would have a tanning station. So what we will have now is a new mission in the Nomad Highlands. So if we check on our quests, look on the map, there it is there, Looper's Lair. So in terms of getting over there, you recall last time we set up our home base sort of above Umber Hollow at the Pillars of Creation. We will now be able to get over there to Looper's Lair. A couple of things that we previously didn't cover. We've got a couple of new question marks here. One of those is Rumours of the Dragon Cave, and the other is Fuka Encounter. So those will be two of the missions that we have upcoming. We check in with Emily Frey the farmer. She now has a new mission as well. She wants an almanac of plants and seedlings for the farmer, and if we look at where that is, you can see that is in a similar area. So as we've spoken about earlier, the game's really good at sort of leading you into things and into sections that you are ready for and that you're up to the level of. Alright, so that's going to wrap us up for this episode. The next time we're going to really quickly take a bit of a look around the base here and the changes that I've made and the updates that I've actually gone ahead and done. Not just with regards to the building here, but with regards to some of the work I've done on the building itself. Alright, well, once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Glitch Gaming.